folks, TJ here. Time to interview another Patreon or YouTube member. This time it's going to be Casey Nydahl. So in my last video, I did Eric Lamb. So if you're not familiar with this series, if you're a patron or a YouTube member, periodically I will pick one of you out of the hat and say, hey, would you like to be interviewed? For finding out who you are, what you're about, how you're into whatever you're into. Mostly probably vintage computers, vintage gaming consoles, something of that genre. No, that's an appliance for a kitchen. Genre. There you go. So we're going to ask Casey Nydahl some questions. So if you're not familiar with Casey, you probably are, because I've had his name a number of times in my videos. He has, over the number of years now, donated quite a few products, we'll call them, to my channel so I can review them, play them, and he's been a most generous bloke. I don't know why he's so generous to me. Maybe he likes me. I guess I can be likable sometimes, but he's a very nice gentleman, and he's not too far from me. So I hope one day to actually do a man cave video where we're both in the same room, both together, and it's his man cave because I don't have a man cave. He is building one. He's got an external shop at a new place that he has, and I think over time it's going to become a man cave. So it'll be fun to maybe meet him face to face, but until then, we will live through videos and do interview that way. So like Eric's video that I just did, I'm going to ask a series of questions. I'm going to email him the video. He's going to answer them, send them back. I will merge them all together, edit them all together, and make one nice big long video so you can find out more about Casey Nydahl. So that's why I'm also wearing my Intellivision shirt, because he's mostly, or at least more so I think, an Intellivision fan than many other consoles. He sent me a lot of Intellivision games, so I've got a lifetime of games to play over time. But let's ask the first question. I've got a number of them. So first one's always the easiest. Tell us about yourself. You can go as in detail or less in detail if you don't want people to know too much about you. But let us know about you, whether it's about work, whether it's about play, hobby, just something. Tell us who Casey Nydahl is. That's question number one. And when you repeat when you answer them, repeat it back to me, in your video saying, TJ asked, tell me about yourself. Well, I'm going to tell you.
All right, TJ, this is question one, where you asked me to tell you guys a little bit about myself. My name is Casey. I'm 47 years old, and I'm from California, not too far from where you live. I am a family man above all else. Been married going on 12 years now. I have Blake, 24, Robbie, 10, and Arlene, 7. And besides being an avid gamer, I am also a racer. I have raced go-karts and cars in the past, but since 2012, I have been into RC racing and started running tracks in 2017. So that's pretty much the gist of what I do on a day-to-day.
Question number two. I've got a lot of them for Casey. What is your favorite video game console? I know you're not into vintage computers because you said it was kind of, I think maybe a little before your time in that respect. You were more of a vintage console person, gaming console. So what is your favorite? Is it Intellivision? Why is it Intellivision? If it is, was it because that was the first one that you had? What is your favorite? And tell us why you chose, or why you were just destined to be that particular gaming console your favorite. Okay, that was question number two.
Okay, now we're on to question two, which was, what is your favorite gaming console and why? So I'm pretty sure you're going to be shocked. Mine is Intellivision. Now, that was my very first console, and I was pretty much the only one in my neighborhood that had one. Everyone else had Atari 2600s, and one neighbor had an Odyssey 2. So how I got that was, one of my dad's coworkers bought it when it came out, and a few games. Wasn't really into games, sold it to my dad. He brought it home, and the rest is history. So I grew up playing Atari 2600s at all my friends' houses, and they were at my house when we pretty much played any sports games and a few others. So that is how I came to love the Intellivision.
Did I already favorite video? Oh, so the first one was the console. What's your favorite video game? So obviously you have a favorite video game more than likely, whether it's on the television or whatever. It doesn't have to be on your favorite console. Maybe you like a game from Spectrum Next. Invasion of the Cloud People! That's your favorite game, right? Kidding aside, what's your favorite video game? And what about that game has really made it your favorite video game? That was number 3.
Okay, now for question 3. What is your favorite video game? For me, I'm going to answer this a little bit different. I'm going to give you my favorite game on a few of the early consoles that I loved. So for Intellivision, has to be Major League Baseball. I was the best at it. I've still yet to be beat at that game. All-time favorite. I have many favorites for Intellivision, but if I have to pick one, Major League Baseball, the first one, definitely it. And for NES, which was my second console, Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, or 3. That any of those games would be my favorite. And if I had to pick one game over all of them, Super Mario Brothers, hands down my favorite of all time. So for the 2600, it's pretty hard to choose. It's River Raid or Pitfall. Take your pick. For the Odyssey 2, I'm gonna have to go with nostalgia. I played a lot of Speedway, Spin Out, and Crypto Logic with my friends, so pretty much have to go with that. And now for the very important one, the Next. So I love Invasion of the Cloud People, and I just beat it again a few minutes ago. And that's actually the whole reason I got the Next. Well, first I got the N-Go, then the Next was so I could play your game. And then later I also played TJ's Capers, and I like that one as well. It's a pretty good game. So there you have it. Those are my favorite video games for early consoles.
Number 4, you're a collector of vintage gaming stuff. I know you, I believe, have the full Intellivision 125 or whatever the number is. So tell us about your collection. Is it strictly Intellivision? I know you also do Odyssey 2, Magnavox Odyssey. Are there other ones in the skeleton closet? Or do you have more skeletons in the closet, as they say? What are other consoles that you collect for? I know Intellivision, pretty sure Magnavox Odyssey. Are there others? How many vintage gaming, or even computer, if you do have some, are you in the process of collecting for? Tell us about your collection. That would be really cool. And if you have time, you're welcome to, video some of these as you're chatting about them too. So that was question number 1, 2, 3, 4. That was number 4 already. Wow.
Okay, now we're on question 4. Tell us about your collection. You asked if it was Intellivision only, what other consoles I collect for, how many other consoles I collect for. So as you see behind me, mainly I collect for Intellivision. It's the only console that I go crazy for. And by crazy, I mean like all the big items have to have every version of everything, every variant that I can find. I do collect for other consoles though. I have most consoles from Gen 1 to the current gen. But I pretty much am collecting for Intellivision, Atari 2600. I have quite a nice Odyssey 2 US collection. And I have started pretty good collecting NES. So everything else I just kind of buy as I find, but those are the ones that I really like to go after, the early ones. Okay, now this is question 4, part 2. So you mentioned in the question that I had all of the 125, which at the time you recorded that, I thought I did. So once I started organizing everything and getting it all on the shelves behind me, I realized that I was missing a few games. So since that time, I have collected them all. The last one being Learning Fun 2, which I picked up on eBay recently. So for any of you guys watching that were going after that one, not good enough. So another thing that I really go after for Intellivision are all the homebrews. Now, there are more homebrews out there than there were original 125 games, and I'm not quite sure how many I have behind me, but I am pretty much getting to a complete collection. And the ones that I don't have yet are the really hard ones to find. So as they pop up, I'll grab them until I get them all.
Let's see, what, I can't read it. The room's a little dark right now. I'm trying out some new lighting. I got a little blue accent lighting up there, and I have a little head shot. That's probably a good word for it, but yeah, I've got some beam down here showing up my ball spot. What's the next question? What are you looking for now? I know as a collector, you probably always have pokers in the fire, always perusing eBay and perusing places to find stuff. What is, you've got to have a list of, I've got to get this, I've got to get this. So what are you looking for now in generic form, like you're always looking for in television, always looking for this, but there's probably a few key items that you're always looking for and haven't found it yet. What is that item? Tell us about that. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. That was number 5. Wow, I've got a lot of questions for you.
Okay, question 5, you asked me, what am I collecting and looking for now? So, like I said at the end of question 4, I'm pretty much trying to complete the homebrews, which is very hard and expensive considering I just started 2 years ago. There are more homebrews out there than the 125 original games, and a lot of them are very elusive and they do not come up very often at all. So right now, pretty much what I need 3 of the 4 Fortress games, which are the very first homebrews. I need Miss Night Stalker, Super Pro, Major League Baseball. Off the top of my head, those are the ones that I know. I know there's a few more in there, but I am getting pretty close. And now you just got to keep up with all the releases that these guys are putting out every year. It's astonishing. Great games. You know, it's amazing that there are so many good games still coming out for this console.
Taking out of the world of retro, the next question is, I know you're into RC racing cars. Tell us about, I know you also help sponsor or put on during the better weather times of the year, RC racing type of events. Tell us about that. If you've got a URL, please tell us what website it is. Tell us about your fascination with RC cars. And to tell you about my RC stuff, you know, RC cars, here's me, and I'm going that direction. I can turn left and turn right because it makes sense to me. But how in the hell do you, when you're coming back, do you have to all of a sudden switch your mind to go, okay, well, left is no longer left, you got to go right to go left? That's very confusing to me. And now the phone's ringing. Let it ring. Who is it? It's some junk number. I don't know anybody at that number. How the heck do you do that? Is there a switch that all of a sudden when you come back towards you, you flick a button and then you could go natural left and right again? So if you turn left, the thing goes that way? It doesn't make sense to me. I would hate to fly an airplane in the RC because I'd go that way fine, but then I'd never be able to turn around and come back towards me and land. That just doesn't work. So how the heck does that work? So tell us about your RC racing. Are you any good at it? I'm sure you are because you do have a competitive spirit about you. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that was question number 6. Your RC stuff.
Okay, question 6. You asked me to tell you about RC racing, my fascination with it, and if I'm any good at it. So I started racing in the early 90s for RC, and I didn't get serious until about 2012. It's like, I'm a really competitive person. I love racing, so it's a natural, good mix for RC racing. And at the time I had, my kids were very young, and so it didn't take up a lot of space in the shop. It wasn't very expensive for the most part, and I could do it as much or as little as I wanted. So that's pretty much where I got started. By 2017, I was running tracks. And since your recording of the questions, I have just recently gave up running the track, and now I'm focusing more on family and taking my son racing. So, but I mean, you typically have like 10 to 14 classes at an event, and there's everything from rookies to near pro level. So, I mean, I'm usually in the upper of the middle, maybe. So I'm fairly good at it, nowhere near the best, but I really do enjoy it, and I do get my fair share of wins. So there you have it, RC racing. I'll try to add, I took a few clips at a few races, so I'll try to see if I can get a good clip so you can add it to the video.
Next question. No, that's not a question. Oh, this next one. Competitive spirit. So I know you've actually told me that you are competitive. So anytime I've thrown something out at you, seems like all of a sudden you get a whiff and you want to beat it or do whatever. So is that just instilled from when you were a youth? That you had to win? You wanted to come in first place? What's that spirit? Is it just fun? Or are you really super competitive and you have to win? Tell us about your competitive spirit and how has it been good for you? Has it been bad for you in some cases? Because if you try to be competitive with the wife, you're gonna lose, period. At least I've been married 30 some odd years, so I've never won. So tell us about your competitive spirit.
Okay, question 7. You asked me about my competitive spirit, if it was instilled in me since youth, if I always have to win. So pretty much since as long as I can remember, I've been competitive at literally everything I do, whether it's a video game, a sport, we're walking somewhere, I gotta walk faster than you. I don't know where I actually got it. Neither one of my parents are that way. I don't think either of my siblings are that way. I've just always had it. I'm a competitor. You know, I love to try to get better at anything I do, and I want to do it better than the person next to me. And, you know, I'm always a good sport, never a poor sport, but I like to win. Don't know where I got it, always had it. I'm sure I always will. Okay, this is question 7, part 2. You talked about not being competitive with your wife, that you're going to lose. I probably shouldn't do it, but I do. And I don't think anyone wins, but I do try. And usually works out okay. I do it.
And I think I have one other question. Oh yeah, so I'll make this the last one. From the cloud people. They tell me to tell you, you suck, and you suck. So Casey, to my knowledge, is the only person that has proof that he has beat my Invasion of the Cloud People, The Next Storm. Not the original game, the Invasion of the Cloud People for the Speccy 48. He's shown me no proof and has not won that one yet. So, you know, competitive spirit, you haven't won that game yet. I think it's just a little too hard for you. But you've beaten numerous times Invasion of the Cloud People, The Next Storm, that's made specifically for the Next. You own a Next, you own an Ngo. So I know that you have Next in your blood veins now. So I want to give you something to be competitive here. And you don't have to do this one for this video. You can always do it separate if it's going to delay me getting the answers back. But I want you to do, from turning it on, you have 3 attempts. You can record it. And out of the 3 attempts, are you able to win in 3 attempts? Not 4, not 2. You got to play a full 3. And if you win on the first one, that's fine. But you're not going to win on the first one. Cloud people are relentless. They're bastards. So I want you to play 3 games, record it, and give us your best score if you don't win the game. And if you actually do complete it in the 3 games, and no cheating. Just because you're competitive, you know cheating. I want to see what you do. Because Eric Lamb says he beat my game once, but he has no proof. So I think he's fibbing, because his name's Eric. Not with a K, though. Those are the only Erics that fib. The ones with the K and the Eric spelling. So yeah, play 3 and add it to this video if you can. If not, make it a future one. I'd love to see... I don't think I've seen anybody play Invasion of the Cloud People, The Next Storm, and do a YouTube video or anything. I'd love to see somebody else play my game.
Okay, question 8 involved a message you had for me from the Cloud People, in which they stated, I suck, and I suck. Well, I think we ought to cue the game footage, and we can see who sucks. And as far as your first game, you're right, I have not beat that yet. I have gotten pretty far. That game is insanely hard to play on a keyboard. Usually I do pretty well using a keyboard, but that one's quite difficult. So I'm about to update my Next from one of your videos, and it shows you how to hook up a keyboard for games that are not designed for one. So I'm about to do that, and then I'm going to own the Cloud People in game 1. And we'll see then who sucks. Alright, TJ, here we go with some gameplay footage of me beating your game in 3 tries. Not only picture proof, video proof. Proof, something that Eric Lamb has never sent. I don't think he really beat it. Oh, 2 of the raindrops gone right away. Not good. This game is completely random. So sometimes you can have the easiest, best level ever, and sometimes there is nothing you can do to get past it. Do not pop up in their path. Whew. If the lightning bolt or the whirlwind touch the portal, you don't just lose a man, the whole entire game ends right then. Very frustrating. Alright, moving on to Cumulus. On the right, you see my cloud coins. Got 2 of them so far. On the left, you see the raindrop indicator. You need 7 of them to get past the level. Uh-oh. Oh my gosh, that was very close. That portal popped up right by both of them. I think this game knows that I'm trying to beat it on video for TJ because it's not being as nice as it usually is. Alright, next up, Strato C. That'll be 3 cloud coins. On the right, I have 3 Cellular Storms in the 3 Cellular Storms in reserve at the bottom. Ah, that lightning bolt grabbed one of my raindrops. I don't like that he's gonna pop out here and I'm at the top. There, he grabbed another one. I'm gonna leave that last raindrop. Oh, I'm so glad I made that choice. That's how you separate the men from the boys, Eric Lamb. Cloud Triangle. This is where you will get the portal pass. Oh, they're all up there. I don't like the way this is laid out. And that guy on the left is lingering because he's going to go all the way up to the top. This is probably not going to end well. Oh, I got it. But can I get back to the bottom? Just barely. We are going to leave that raindrop. Alright. That is the portal for this level, and now I will have the portal pass at the lower left. Had a lot of close calls on this one. Nimbo. I'm liking the way this is heading so far. Depends on where it pops up. Popped up in a nice spot. I'm gonna leave those 2 raindrops. Last year I did go for several perfect runs, but oh my gosh, is it infuriating trying to get all the raindrops for every level of the game. I've got pretty close a few times, but I have not yet done a perfect run collecting all raindrops, not using the portal pass, and clearing the game. Probably should not have went this way, but it might work out. Let's see where it opens. Oh boy. This could be good here. A little closer than I'd like, but got her done. Can't tell you how many times I've had the portal open right on one of those lightning bolts or the whirlwinds and game over near the end. And I had perfect games going. I might have said a few bad words. Oh boy. This one gets you more times than anything else. The randomness of where those pop up, and you have to get so many raindrops. I think that level gets me more than anything else. Let's try again. Alright, this is a good one. As long as I don't get hit early. And the portal opened. We are getting out of dodge. This is definitely one level that I leave any raindrops that are not close by. Cloud Triangle. This should be where I get my Reflexionator battery. Now you have 2 guys that chase you and 2 that shoot at you from the sidelines. Not exactly easy. There is the battery. Pick that up while I can. Oh boy. I think I can do this one. And we did it. Now I have my Reflexionator battery in the lower right. I can shoot missiles, which you pretty much need to complete the game. Ooh, I also got another Cellustorm extra life. Back up to 3. 0S. Now is when you need to shoot these guys. You need to collect them. Shoot. You need to, I don't know if I'm going to be able to collect enough. I may have to, yes, I'm going to have to use my portal pass if I want to keep going. Well, let's do it. Gotta do what you gotta do. Zero C. Oh my gosh. This is one of the hardest levels because you got all those storms popping up. You've got guys moving very quickly down and across. You need to get rid of some of these guys just to have a chance. Oh, right in front of my path. Let's try it again. Alright, we got rid of a few of them. You cannot get them all, otherwise you will not pass. It just keeps coming back up. I might actually be able to get by this one. Oh no! No! He didn't get it. Oh, but I don't think I can get it. Oh, it let me in. Well, it wasn't pretty, and it wasn't easy, and I had a lot of close calls, but there you have it. Video proof, TJ and Eric Lamb. Congrats, 86 points. You have completed the 3/4 demo, or the done demo. Let TJ know how you enjoyed the game. Do you want to play again? Hit Y or N. Alright, there you have it. I got her done. Okay, now I have a challenge for you, TJ. You finish the game, the last 25%, make it as hard as you can so I can beat it. When you're ready, I'll be ready. Okay, this is in response to, at the end of the video, you thanked me for all the gifts and the support, but in all actuality, those are gifts for you and thanking you for all the time you spend in creating all the videos that we all watch and love. You know, I know it takes a lot of hard work and time to do all that. Just my way of saying thank you. And truth be told, by the time you get these and put this video out, there's going to be another famous Casey package on the way. I know you like those. And it'll be there shortly. Be expecting it. Alright, TJ, before I get out of here, I just want to say thank you for picking me. Even though you picked Eric Lamb first, I'll take number 2. But I seriously, I do really appreciate it. It was fun to do. Sorry it took so long, but I hope it was worth the wait. We need to do a video soon together. We also need to do a video game day where you come down and check out the man cave, and we can record a bunch of challenges. You know, I'm up for a good competition. So yeah, we'll talk to you soon, and hope all's well, buddy.
So anyway, that's all the questions. Thanks for watching. So once I get the answers back from Casey, and thank you, Casey, again for all the wonderful things you've donated to me, to my channel as gifts. You've been most generous, so thank you. But yeah, those are it. I'll merge everything together and have one super long video so you can learn more about Casey. I probably said Eric at some point because I have Casey. Eric was the last video. This one's all about Casey. So yeah, and who am I going to choose next for the number 3? You watch out, because if you're a Patreon or a YouTube channel member, I may call out your name and say I want to interview you. You don't have to do it, but it would be great if you can. So anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.